Welcome to part 1 of this review. That would be really stupid to split it into 2 parts. You're probably right. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 was directed by Francis Lawrence, stars Jennifer Lawrence, Liam Hemsworth, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Elizabeth Banks, Julianne Moore, Josh Hutcherson, a bunch of people, and it continues the story of Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark. And although the other movies have focused on specific games, as in the 74th Hunger Games in the first, 75th in the second, this movie is now about all-out rebellion and all-out war against President Snow and the Capitol. I went into this movie and got exactly what I expected, and that is a movie that should not have been split into 2 parts. I have had this idea since I heard there was going to be 2 parts. I mean, every young adult book, whether it's Harry Potter, Twilight, Divergent, or Hunger Games, now feels the need to split its final installment in 2, and it makes no sense. It made sense when Harry Potter did it, and then for some reason it became a tradition. Harry Potter had enough material, it was like a long book, to justify 2 movies. Mockingjay is a much, much shorter book. It's about half the length of The Deathly Hallows, and it shows because they really try to stretch this movie out, and it's not horrible. It was a little better than I expected it to be, but it's just unnecessary, and they really could have done a much better job and given the source material a lot more justice if they made it into one longer movie. Like, this movie was 2 hours. If they made one, maybe even 3-hour movie, it would have been perfectly fine, but they felt the need to stretch it out, and for that reason it loses a lot of its effect, I thought. The acting was great. That's what really sets us apart, I think, from some of the other young adult kind of teen-geared movies, is that the acting's very good. Jennifer Lawrence, as always, really anchors this movie, and she brings a lot of heart to a character that could have been portrayed very two-dimensionally, I guess. Philip Seymour Hoffman is a genius, and it's really a tragedy that he's gone, but he's giving some really good work here. I mean, every single movie he does, he never plays the same person. He's always completely different, and he brings a really great character, and it worked great, and I really am so upset that we lost him. Julianne Moore did better than I thought. She brought a lot more life to President Coin than was present in the books. I have read the books, if you were not aware. She brought a lot more life to that character. In that book, you don't really get much of a feel for her, but she worked. Donald Sutherland is an effective villain as President Snow. Josh Hutcherson really surprised. He did fantastically in the very limited screen time that he had, because it's pretty much limited to the interviews that he shoots, and he did great. He really portrayed a lot, and I liked that. And yeah, I mean, the acting overall was good. There weren't really any standout bad performances. I thought it was good. One of the things I loved about Catching Fire is that when they switched directors to Francis Lawrence, they kind of cut out the crappy camera work. In Hunger Games 1, it was shaky all over the place. In Catching Fire, it was very, very steady, and for that reason, the action scenes worked a lot better. And then they reverted. They went back. In Mockingjay, there's one scene in particular that is horrible. Like, my head almost started to hurt because it was shaking all over the place. And I went to see this with my sister and my friend, and although they don't usually notice this kind of stuff, they're not really there for like the technique, they kind of pointed out like it was shaky and some scenes were blurry. Like, they would blur things out, and I noticed that as well, and it made no sense, I thought. It's still interesting. It continues the story well. The actors are good, but as a whole, the experience is missing something. Like, it does feel like enough of its own arc to almost justify being its own movie. It doesn't, as I said, but it feels like you're missing a part of the experience. And it's hard to describe exactly how that is, but I don't know what else to say. But like I said, great acting. It looked good visually, although some of the cinematography became a little weird between shot compositions and shaky cam and God knows what. And like I said, the script, although the script itself was good, it should have been consolidated into one movie, unless Mockingjay Part 2 absolutely blows it out of the water for its entire running time. Should not have been split. I give Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 a B. So yeah, it's good. If you're a fan of the series, you'll probably like this. My sister's a huge fan of the books. She really liked this movie, but I don't know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.